All right, here we are, the final leg of our journey into AI security. And honestly, we've saved what might be the most important piece of the entire puzzle for last, the human element. Yep, this is part 5, the final lesson in our tutorial, Security Risks and Mitigation Strategies of Public versus Private AI, all based on the great material from Virtualization Options LLC. So far, we've talked a lot about tech, right? Servers, software, but now we're shifting gears. We're focusing on the people using that tech. We're talking about the human factor, which is, without a doubt, the most critical and honestly, the most overlooked part of any security plan. I mean, let's be real. You can build a digital fortress with the most advanced tech money can buy. But if just one person on your team clicks a bad link or pastes sensitive data where it shouldn't go, boom, that whole fortress can come tumbling down. People aren't just part of the security equation, they're a massive variable in it. And the source material really hammers this point home. Technology by itself, it's not some magic shield. The biggest holes in our defenses are often poked by, well, us. It could be a simple mistake, someone falling for a clever trick, what we call social engineering, or just plain not knowing the risks. And look, this isn't just a hunch. The data shows it loud and clear. Most AI security breaches don't happen because of some super genius hacker in a dark room finding a 1 in a million flaw. Nope, they usually start with a regular, well-meaning employee who just makes a small mistake. And that is exactly why we're dedicating this whole section to training and awareness. So what do we do about it? The answer isn't just to throw more training manuals at people. It's about being smarter with our training. Think about it. A one-size-fits-all security PowerPoint? That's just not going to cut it anymore, especially with AI. Why? Because everyone from marketing to engineering is using AI in completely different ways. You've got to tailor it. For your general employees, the big thing is spotting those super convincing AI-powered phishing emails. For your AI developers, they need to know all about secure coding practices and how to defend against what we call adversarial attacks. That's when someone tries to deliberately fool the AI model. And then you've got your security teams. They need the deep technical know-how to monitor for these brand new types of threats. See? Different roles, different training. Okay, but some rules apply to everybody. Every single person in the company needs to be crystal clear on which AI tools are okay to use for work, and even more importantly, what information should never, ever be fed into them. We're talking sensitive company secrets, customer data, you name it. With so many people using public AI tools to help with their jobs, having these ground rules isn't just a good idea, it's absolutely critical. A huge piece of that puzzle is deep fake awareness. This is some serious stuff. We're talking about AI creating fake videos, fake audio clips, fake images that are scarily realistic. Imagine getting a frantic audio message from your CEO demanding an immediate wire transfer. It sounds just like them, but it's not. Training your team to be skeptical and spot the telltale signs of this stuff, it's not a nice to have anymore. It's a frontline defense. So knowing all this in theory is great, but we all know practice is what really counts. This is about moving from knowing the rules to actually living them, getting our hands dirty. But that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do you make training so effective that it actually sticks? How do you make sure that when a real threat pops up, people don't just freeze, they react the right way? Well, the answer is practice, practice, practice. But in a really smart way. It's a cycle. Step 1, you run realistic simulations of AI-powered attacks. Step 2, you watch and measure how your employees respond. Step 3, you give them immediate constructive feedback. And step 4, the most important part, you use what you learn to make the training even better. And then you do it all over again. And believe me, this isn't just theory. This approach works. The source material points to a financial services firm that did exactly this. They started sending out simulated phishing emails, but these are special. They were crafted by AI to look exactly like their real internal messages. The result? It was pretty incredible. Get this, a 40% drop in the number of times people fell for the bait. 40%! Think about that. They stopped almost half of these potential breaches, not with some expensive new software, but just by giving their people hands-on, practical training. It's a perfect example of learning by doing. It's not just about running fire drills, though. It's about changing the culture. It's about creating what the source calls challenge protocols. Basically, you want to build an environment where an employee feels totally comfortable, even encouraged, to hit pause on a weird or urgent request and say, hang on, let me double-check this, even if that request seems to be coming from the CEO. And really, all of this is leading up to the end game, The real goal isn't just to check off a box for annual training. It's about building a genuine, lasting security culture that permeates the whole organization. And let me tell you, there is a world of difference between just having training events and having a real security culture. A training event is that thing you have to do once a year, you click through the slides, you're done. A security culture is how you operate every single day. It's the difference between being reactive and being proactive. It's making security a core value, not just a line item on a compliance sheet. So how do you actually build that culture? It rests on a few key pillars. First, leadership has to walk the walk and show everyone that this is a huge priority. Second, people need a super clear, no-blame way to report anything that looks fishy. And third, you have to actually recognize and reward people for doing the right thing. It needs to be part of the company's DNA. Yeah, building a culture like this is a team sport. It's not just one thing. You need leadership driving it. You need great training. You need the right tools, and you need constant, open communication. You can't just pick one. They all have to be working in concert. But, when you get this right, something really cool happens. Security stops being this annoying roadblock that everyone tries to get around. Instead, it just becomes a natural part of how you work and innovate. It's what allows you to confidently grab onto these amazing new AI tools and use them without constantly looking over your shoulder. So, as we wrap up this entire series, I want to leave you with one final question to think about for your own team or company. When all the tech is set up and all the firewalls are on, is your human firewall, your culture and your people, your greatest strength? Or is it your biggest vulnerability?